Good morning, everyone. We're starting our fourth day exploring Kansas in the Cimarron National Grasslands. If you've missed the previous videos, we'll link the playlist at the end. Today we start heading back east through the southern portion of Kansas, and we'll end up taking our biggest detour yet. We had originally planned to go north around Wichita, but made a last-minute decision to go south to see some things down there. We'll experience a little bit of Kansas hospitality, discover some interesting Kansas history, which includes a ghost town, of course, see some more Kansas art, and end the day with some free camping. Thanks for joining us on today's adventure. We're so glad you're here. The Grasslands are over 100,000 acres managed by the Forest Service and includes an OHV area, numerous trails for horseback riding and backpacking. There are dispersed camping opportunities as well as fishing lakes and a campground. One of the trails that runs through here is the Santa Fe National Historic Trail. We were heading out of the Grasslands this morning to continue our drive east, but we would love to come back and spend several days here exploring the area. We had such a peaceful night's sleep here, maybe a little bit too good. I had a dream last night that we got home and there were two German shepherds in our house that belonged to the neighbor, and the chickens were all they were in a pen, but not in a protected pen. Like the German shepherds could get in there. And so like the German shepherds, the whole time we were gone, nobody was at the house. The German shepherds were coming and going, and they were eating the chickens. So like we got home and walked in the house, and there are these German shepherds there, and there were like plants knocked over and stuff like that. We're like, what the hell are you doing in here? And and they went out the back door. We went out to like check on the chickens. They ran in where the chickens were. One of the German shepherds grabbed a chicken. We had to grab it and make it let go. Then the German shepherds like hopped over a fence into their own yard, and there were like 2 or 3 dead chickens over there in their yard. There was some sort of, remember the coop your mom had for just the small one for just
A-frame?
Yeah, so it was like that, and there were cats in it, like they're stray cats. So we look in there to see what's going on in there, and there's like 2 stray cats that have had kittens, so we have like 24 kittens now, and there's just all this crap. Like, what the hell?
Good story, bro.
Hopefully not, right? We're in liberal Kansas.
Liberal country.
One of the things liberal Kansas is known for is being Dorothy's home in The Wizard of Oz. In the books, it never actually specifies a particular town in Kansas she's from, but liberal has claimed that title. You can take a tour of Dorothy's house here and visit the Land of Oz. We also found a couple of good camping options just outside of Liberal. Western Star RV Park is right on the main highway outside of Liberal. There doesn't appear to be much shade or privacy, but it looks very well kept and like it has lots of amenities and would definitely fit larger RVs. And then right down the road and a little ways off of the highway is Archelon Park. The park is open April through October, so we were a couple weeks too early, but it looked like they were doing some work getting ready to open. From the pictures we found, this appears to be a very nice park as well, and we were surprised camping with electric is only $15 and without electric's only $5. So Archelon is considered a ghost town. For a short time, it was a significant shipping point for cattle on the Rock Island Rail Line. The rail line came to this area of Kansas in the late 1800s. But right away, there were problems. mostly related to the bridge crossing the Cimarron River. Due to the shape and curves of the river, the rail line had to have several hairpin turns, and the sandy soil made the bridges unstable. Storms and flooding washed away several bridges, so they were constantly being rebuilt. The sandy soil in and around Archelon also made it difficult to get goods and livestock to the train, so that stop was dropped, and within a matter of a few years, the town of Archelon was gone. The bridges still remained a problem, though, that needed to be solved so the trains could get to the town of Liberal. The problem came to a head in 1938. According to Atlas Obscura, the Gold Ball freight train was navigating the hairpin turn at Archelon Crossing when the bridge gave way, plunging the train into the river. Over the summer, the bridge was quickly repaired and just as quickly washed out once again. Families began to congregate around the river to gawk, and hamburger stands popped up near the site of the crash. Fed up, Rock Island COO John Farrington made the bold decision to route the railroad high over the river. So this was our first stop of the morning. The mighty Sampson Bridge over the Cimarron was completed in July of 1939 and straightened the rail line and raised the bridge way above the river. The concrete support posts go 65 feet down into the soil and are in an Art Deco style. It was a finalist for the 8 Wonders of Kansas Architecture because it was considered a marvel of engineering for its time. Our next stop is one of the 8 Wonders of Kansas Architecture. So this is the From Bernie Round Barn, one of the 8 Wonders of Kansas Architecture. Built in 1912, restored in 1995, had a new roof put on it in 2022 to match the green color from the original 1912 shingles. It's on the Register of Historic Places. Barn was built in 1912 for Henry W. Fromm to house his draft horses that pulled the machinery to grow the wheat crops. 4 years later, the Fromm family bought their first tractor in 1916, thus the barn was obsolete in just 4 years after it was built. Visitors are welcome. Just open the door, turn on the lights, sign the guest book, and view the exhibits of farm life of 1912. Please. So there's a photo of Fromm standing in front of it, not like right in front of it, standing like in the middle of a wheat field. So they have some things for sale in here. And they take donations. I said they have some things for sale in here. Oh, you can hear the wind rattling. So there are doors, like every side has a door in it. We'll go upstairs in a minute. Yeah. That's beautiful. The Fromm family. The center grain bin held grain for draft horses and milk cows. They have a barbed wire museum here in Kansas.
I believe it.
I mean, like, who knew there were so many different kinds of barbed wire, you know? Some cool events in here, I bet. Okay, here's the center. Test out acoustics by singing the state song of Kansas in the haymow. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play. You're walking away. You don't want to sing with me? Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. He didn't want to sing with me. If my sister was here, she would have sang with me. All righty, babe. Aren't they cool? Like, I remember. Not too far from the Fromm Burney Barn in the nearby town of Mullinville is the M.T. Liggett Art Environment. Liggett was raised in a 4-room claim shack, one of 7 kids growing up as a dry land tenant farmer. Myron Thomas Liggett was born in December of 1930 along with his twin brother Byron Timothy. The twins were the heaviest set of twins ever born. Byron weighed 12 pounds and Myron 11 3/4 pounds. Born at the onset of the Depression, living through the Dust Bowl and hard times. MT escaped the farm at 17 by enlisting in the Navy, serving aboard ships throughout the Pacific. Youthful exploits described in graphic stories, fantastical affairs depicted in totems later in life. He went on, after the Navy, he went on to serve in the United States Air Force, retiring as Master Sergeant in 1973. He returned to Mullinville for good in the 80s, settling not too far from the family's original homestead. His art career began in 1989 with a gargoyle to protect his livestock after finding out that one of his horses had been poisoned. There is a visitor center open Tuesdays through Saturdays, 10 to 4. Or view the outdoor artwork 24/7. From Mullinville, we headed south to the Gypsum Hills Scenic Byway. the Gypsum Hills Scenic Byway. Ancient floodplains, buttes, canyons, mesas, and sinkholes are rare on the Great Plains, yet nestled in the Kansas grasslands are the Gypsum Hills, or Red Hills, with plenty of geological diversity. 42-mile Scenic Byway is enchantingly noteworthy for its rolling weathered hills, picturesque vistas, and outdoor recreational opportunities. The drive affords tantalizing views of the rugged landscape and includes 2 scenic overlooks to help you soak it all in. Again, Kansas.
Wow.
And, again, think about what it probably looks like a month from now. When the Scenic Byway ended, we turned south and headed towards the Oklahoma state line. I think it said something about cottonwoods.
State tree.
Is it? Cottonwood is the Kansas state tree?
Yep.
I saw some of them have green on them. I see buds on some. Southern Kansas is pretty unpopulated.
Oh.
The town that we're headed to has one gas station that's open until 11 p.m. and there's no place with gas in like at least a 20-mile radius, if not. Like go down, there was one 20 miles away in Oklahoma, but then after that it's like 40 miles away. So the town we're headed to is Caldwell, Kansas, also known as the Border Queen. Caldwell is notable as a stop on the Chisholm Trail. So to get to the gas station, you'll turn left on Central, which will be the main intersection, it looks like. 81. That's where 81 comes in from the east. There it is. From 1866 until about 1886, millions of head of cattle were driven from Texas up through Indian Territory and Oklahoma and into Kansas. The trail had been established by Native Americans and was named for the trader Jesse Chisholm. The trail was about 1,000 miles long, originating in southern Texas and running all the way to Abilene, Kansas. Caldwell was named the Border Queen because it was the first sign of civilization after coming out of the state of Texas. Just south of Caldwell, you can see the Chisholm silhouettes. How pretty! The purple and the green. To the northeast of Caldwell, on the way to the town of Corbin, is this low water crossing over the Chicaskia River. We love to stop at places like this, just look around, and of course, take a few pictures. Heck, man, the grass is half growing over the road.
Traffic coming from your way?
Nope. Nope, not a thing. We continued northeast into the town of Winfield to check out a local brewery. We had a little bit of difficulty finding some place to park the truck and trailer, but after a couple of laps around, we were able to find a spot. Yeah, so see, this is all parallel parking. Oh, cars parked here, huh? They got tables outside, though.
It's probably good because I probably stink.
You wrap a fist hand around each one.
We really enjoyed the beers here. The staff was great. We traded stickers with them, and they were selling Girl Scout cookies across the street, so we picked up a couple boxes of those. We didn't stay too long, though, because we still had about an hour drive to Butler State Fishing Lake, where we were hoping to camp for the night, and it was already starting to get dark. Okay, so it's Thursday night, and we didn't get to camp until
We did too.
dark.
We got to camp.
Well, but we didn't get here until dark, after dark, and it's windy and cold here.
It's not that cold.
The wind, I thought, is really cold.
It's got a nip to it, but it's got to be mid-40s.
Yeah, we stopped at a brewery because we like to support local breweries, and we hadn't stopped at one on this trip at all. So we stopped and had a couple beers, and since we knew we were going to be getting to camp.
Ladybird Brewing.
Ladybird Brewing. Really good. Cool place. But since we knew, let's see if I can flip the camera around. Since we knew we were going to be getting here after dark, and today is
Pie Day.
3/14. Haha, so it's Pie Day. We stopped and got a pizza on our way, a pizza pie on our way to camp. So we're going to sit here in the nice, warm, comfortable campanile and eat our pizza before we go to bed.
Good night, y'all. Hope you had a good Pie Day.
We'll show you more of this campground in next week's video. That will also be our last day exploring Kansas. but we still have a couple of really big things to see on our trip. As always, thank you so much for joining us. We hope you enjoyed this adventure, and we'll see you in the next video.